So, here the main dashboard on Commvault. I'll guide you in performing a backup of a virtual machine using this tool. There's plenty of passage, so take some notes and I follow mine. First step is to configure the new storage. The storage should be of a cloud storage, since we plan to perform a backup on S3 compatible cloud storage proposed by Cubbit. In this screen, you should click Add in order to add a new backup destination. We scroll to the bottom where we can select the S3 compatible storage. We have to pick a meaningful name, so in this case I've written down something like Cubbit DS3 Commvault. As host is HTTPS AU, and then I should select some credential. In order to create the credential, we should go to API keys and generate new API keys. I already created them, like backup Commvault, and I've downloaded the file with the credential inside, secret key and access key. So in this section, I just have to click plus, and I can copy the access key and the secret key. And then they get selected automatically. Now I have to pick a bucket. To create the bucket is really easy. You should go in the section bucket and create a new bucket by typing the bucket name and also the bucket purpose. Like, for example, I already create a bucket named Cubbit Commvault Backup. I can copy the bucket name and paste here. Is not enough. We also need to pick a local folder to store the database in order to speed up the process of backup by fully use the remote deduplication in order to minimize the bandwidth used by the backup. So we click Add and go in the navigation to pick a folder. If you already have a folder like me, you can select like the Commvault deduplication Daniele Baschieri. But you can also create one by clicking on the small plus and generating a new folder for you. And then I can click simply Add. The configuration is complete, so I can click on Save. Now that we have a storage destination, we should define a plan in order to perform this kind of backup. So, we double check that the S3, the Cubbit S3 Commvault is created properly, and then we can close the storage section and switch to Manage section. The Manage section lets you define a new backup plan. So we open the section Plans and we go to define a new backup plan. We can create a plan for a server backup. Plan name. We call it Cubbit NGC plan and click Next. We should select a backup destination as a copy, and we can select this one. We can define the retention period, and also add, like for example, the backup frequency, the backup windows, and if it's a full backup, when do it. There's some other option like the retention period, the number of snap recovery point, enable if it's a copy, and eventually where the logs should get stored. We can click Submit if everything is as we expect, or tune the configuration based on our necessity. Now that we have a plan, there's plenty of options inside plans. We can close the Manage section and finally connect to our virtual machine. Since it's something we should protect, we can click on Protect and click on Virtualization, since we are trying to protect our virtual environment, our virtual machine. We should add an hypervisor, and since we are in a VMware ecosystem, we click on VMware Center. Click Next, and then we should connect to our virtual server name. I suspect that we can use DNS if we have one, but I have to write down the IP address of my machine. This is not an IP address, but a random number. And 6. Perfect. Then we can pick an hypervisor display name. So I write Daniele. We can pick the suggested credential and click Next. Oh, this is quite tricky because he tried to backup the whole VMS available on the domain. So we do not want to do so. So I click Delete, and without waiting that this screen refresh, I just click Add a content. Then from the data center, I pick the machine that I want to backup. Obviously, if you want to backup all the machine, this is the correct solution. But most of the time, you just want to backup some of the machine that are important to your business. So I can click my test virtual machine and click Next. Oh, before clicking Next, we should pick the plan. So, since we have defined a Cubbit NGC plan, we specified that plan. And then we can click Next. Oh, obviously we should also select a name, so we define a we can see the summary. We have an hypervisor that should be backuped with this plan on, and the name is Protect. We can click Finish, and we are an happy owner of a backup configured system. We can click on Virtualization in the end, and click on the VM group. We can find Cubbit NGC Protect and click on the drop down button to click on an action named Backup. We can run the incremental backup with a submit, and the backup will start. As you can see, inside this folder we have some file get created, and inside we have more information about the machine and everything that is starting. And since the backup has started, we can monitor the full backup from this interface. Hope it is clear, and if you have any question, you can write a comment or contact our team. Thanks for watching.